Hello, Finance and Governance Committee. My name is Jennifer Hiraoka, and I am the city's relatively new Senior Manager Internal Controls, Interim Controller. I started in my role in May of this year, and for those of you that I haven't met, I look forward to meeting you and working with you. Today, I am here to present an update on the Corrective Action Plan for the fiscal years 2015 to 2020 single audits. First on today's agenda is to provide an update of the status of the Corrective Action Plan. The last update the committee received was provided in April of 2021. You will see that not much change has happened between April and now, but we have committed to provide an update on the Corrective Action Plan status every 6 months. So we have elected to keep with that schedule and provide you with today's update. Next on the agenda will be to highlight the continued progress that the city continues to make in the areas of strengthening our system internal controls. You've seen this slide before. This slide details the Corrective Action Plan status definitions. Today I will be only highlighting those definitions that apply to the current unresolved Corrective Action Plan items. The remaining Corrective Action Plan items fall into two status definitions. First is to be tested. This definition is applied when the corrective action item is complete and ready for our auditors to test during the next single audit. Our next single audit is scheduled for January of 2022. The other corrective action plan status definition that applies to the open unresolved findings is in progress. The in progress definition is applied when staff has taken steps towards implementation but has not yet completed this implementation. So the in progress corrective action items are not yet ready for the auditors to test. This next slide highlights the results of the fiscal year 2020 single audit, which resulted in one additional finding, four previous findings remaining unresolved, and no material weakness. The new additional finding is in the area of information technology, general controls, and these findings are communicated to City Council via separate confidential written reports. You'll see from this slide that the city has made substantial progress and only has 5 total unresolved findings. This slide highlights the corrective action plan status through October of 2021. Again, if we go through these details, there were a total findings of 184. Of those, 26 were repeat findings, resulting in 158 total unique findings. Of those, 39 were complete, 14 were passed and no longer required corrective action. There are 5 that remain to be tested. You'll note that in our last update to you in April, we indicated that there were 6 that remained to be tested. However, there was a clerical error in the audit report, so we've been able to bring that number down to 5 total unresolved unique findings. The 5 outstanding remaining findings can be classified into 2 definitions. One is to be tested, and the other is in progress. There are 3 findings that are ready to be tested by our external auditors in Edie and Payne. They are the notes receivable finding, the lease agreements finding, and the pensions plan finding. The corrective actions were implemented and put in place by the Housing Department, the Finance Department, and the Human Resources Payroll Department, respectively. We anticipate the auditors to test these remaining corrective actions sometime between now and January. For the findings that are in progress, city staff is in the progress of updating the indirect cost allocation plan. The finance department is preparing to put in place a request for proposal for a consulting firm to help prepare an indirect cost allocation plan. For the information technology general controls finding, the IT department is in progress of implementing policies and procedures to resolve this finding, and the updates will be provided to City Council via separate confidential written reports. This slide shows a bar graph of the depiction of the unresolved audit findings. You will see that the CAP status as of October 2021 is in green and looks very similar to the CAP status as of March 2021, our last update. This slide highlights the progress that the city continues to make on strengthening our system of internal controls. One item was to hire a senior manager of internal controls to fill the void that was provided when the former senior manager of internal controls, Christine Williams, retired. Next, the city is in the process of adopting internal control integrated framework policies. So far, we've adopted 8 policies, with the 8th policy implemented in June of 2021. The ninth and final policy will be implemented in December 2021. We continue to provide ongoing training to staff. In December, Finance Department staff will be attending a generally accepted accounting principles training or update to make sure that finance staff stays abreast of accounting methods and practices. Today, the Finance and Governance Committee will be receiving an additional training session by Edian Payne. Today's training session will be on risk management. And next, the ERP implementation is ongoing. We expect that there will be numerous financial and process controls to be enhanced in conjunction with this Munis implementation. We are still on track to go live in July of 2022. Finally, that concludes our presentation, and we recommend that the Finance and Governance Committee receive an update on the corrective action plan and give authorization for staff to present the item to City Council.